Trauma is subjective. If you feel as if what you went through was traumatic, it probably was. However, if you feel that your experience wasn't traumatic, you may or may not be correct, because trauma is tricky. It hides in the dark and trips us up when we least expect it. It tries to convince us that what we experienced was normal, to minimize it while stacking itself up against someone else who had it worse. By its simplest definition, trauma is a deeply disturbing experience or series of experiences. If you have been abused mentally, physically, spiritually, or sexually, have been neglected, lost a loved one, survived an assault or natural disaster, or even lived in close proximity to someone who has experienced trauma, you have experienced trauma. The first step in healing trauma is acknowledging its existence. We have to come to grips with the reality that what we experienced wasn't normal. We dismiss or excuse our trauma as simply a regular part of life. We deny its impact on us. We end up looking for remedies rather than getting to the roots of the problem. All around the world, God is redeeming what seems irredeemable. He who was seated on the throne said, "Behold, I am making all things new." Notice that God says He is making all things new, not that He is making all things new. God's innate reaction to brokenness is restoration. Healing with trauma probably won't bring you back to your pre-traumatized self, because the scars will probably always be there. But the scars will remind you of what you've overcome. Someday they will be a powerful testimony to others of what God has done in your life. There's beauty in this kind of renewal. There's richness in things that have been truly restored, rather than cosmetically dressed up. In Zechariah, we read that we are prisoners of hope, because God promises to restore what we have lost. God knows exactly which parts of you are wounded and what will be required in order for them to heal. He has restored millions of wounded minds, bodies, and souls throughout history. He is paying special attention to your wounds right now. He is preparing them for healing. In what ways does your life feel broken right now? Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Return to your fortress, you prisoners of hope. Even now I announce that I will restore twice as much to you. He who was seated on the throne said, "I am making everything new." Then he said, "Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true."